Well, friends, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I am with Senator Jacky Rosen, who, among her other talents and interests, like me, is a musical comedy fan. There's not that much to be either excited about or frankly, lends itself to music or comedy out in the world. But go to the
No.
theater, go to Broadway, go to your local college or high school production because the arts need us, and they are a
Agreed.
refuge in
High
that.
school production. Go, go, go. Those kids are amazing.
There you go. There you go. Well, as our friends begin to pile in, we'll get down to business. Again, I'm with Senator Jacky Rosen. Senator, let me start with just today.
Yeah.
You spoke recently about the tariffs and what is going on there.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about what it's doing to your constituents back in Nevada and what you're most concerned about.
Oh, well, the tariffs, I can tell you Nevada's getting squeezed from both sides. So, what is Nevada most popular for? Well, a lot of things. We have Lake Tahoe, Lake Mead, but of course, we're really famous for a Las Vegas trip, right? And so, tourism is down because of these tariffs. Why? Because if you don't have certainty about your job or prices are going to go up, you cancel things that are optional. Going on vacation. I think it's essential to go to Las Vegas on vacation, but it's really not. And so people cancel their vacation. Businesses pull back. I just spoke with the global travel industry. Businesses pull back on conventions. So what happens is our tourism industry, 25% of our workforce in hospitality, you don't have that tourism coming. It's down 8% overall year after year. I think it's been going up a little more than that. There's less hotel rooms, less tax revenue, less shifts. You know how that goes. So people are making less money, less revenue for everything else. And prices are up at the grocery store, when you go shopping, when you buy a car, whatever you need, fix your wash machine. And so everyone in Nevada, we're squeezed both ways, just like we were during COVID. Tourists went down, prices go up, and it's hurting us in every way. And I spoke with so many folks who've been on, they come to Washington and the fly-ins, and people calling in from the state, and everybody's worried. The uncertainty is just making people so anxious. The anxiety and the fear. They're like, please tell us we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's real.
Well, if they didn't have that to worry about, you have this big, grotesque reconciliation bill that is making its way that has cuts for Medicaid, cuts for SNAP,
Mhm.
cuts in green energy, which is has been a wonderful source of investment for Nevada. Tell us a little bit about what the problems are for Nevada if this bill should go.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's not a big, beautiful bill. And who ever heard of a name of a bill like that? Come on. I know we like to have fun with names, so it's a little ridiculous, but it's a big, beautiful betrayal because what they're doing is they're taking away Medicaid. They're taking away food assistance. So Medicaid, we have about 3 million people in Nevada. I think about a third of them are on Medicaid. Most of them are working, by the way. A lot of those are children also. So what's going to happen is when they do these Medicaid cuts, our kids and families are going to lose their health care and people will die. People will get sick. There'll be more food insecurity because as money gets cut for food banks and our farmers, we don't have that much ag in Nevada, not like some other states, but we do have farmers, particularly in northern Nevada. They sell to our food banks. So we support our local industry. All of those things, our local grocery stores in some of our rural communities where people are shopping, either using SNAP or just purchasing things. It's our whole ecosystem is going down and people will suffer. And I just want to remember why it's a betrayal. I want everyone to remember everything Trump's doing is a distraction because every one of these damn bills passes in the middle of the night they don't want you to see. And it's all for one thing, to give his billionaire cabinet and his billionaire buddies a tax break for the people who need it the least. They're just all it's a race to be a trillionaire. I want to say regular people, they don't need to be trillionaires. Thank you
Exactly.
very much.
Exactly. Now, part of the difficulty in this bill is someone may say, well, I don't necessarily have a Medicaid recipient in my house, or maybe I don't get SNAP, or maybe I don't get a job in the green energy. But what does this do to the state as a whole, the ecosystem and the economy as a whole that's going to affect every single person in Nevada?
Well, I can tell you, you'd be surprised, uh, people that have to go on Medicaid who are, I've had family members who are working and got very sick with cancer, leukemia, and sadly things happen, and people who
Yeah.
don't expect to have to go on care like that, they suddenly can't work. So, you know, be glad that you have insurance and that you don't need it. But Nevada's going to lose money. I think we're going to lose up to about $150 million dollars for the food assistance in our budget. Of course, depending how you use the Medicaid and the Medicaid supplements in your state, that's going to vary. But really, what's going to happen is if people can't get the health care, and I use this a simple analogy. It's easier for me to give you a $4 a month pill to keep your blood pressure regulated than for you to have a stroke. Now, you don't have health care. You don't even get, maybe you don't get your medicine. You don't get to go. You have the stroke. You go, well, God forbid you don't die, but you have no insurance, the most expensive care. What good is that doing? And so we have a lot of kids who have chronic diseases. The parents take care of them. I've met with those parents. And it's, you're just so thankful if you have children that they're healthy because it's really hard what they go through to watch their kids suffer. They would give anything to trade places with them. Those kids are going to lose that Medicaid.
It's
So there's stories out there. Maybe you just don't realize it. You know someone, if you know a kid who's very ill or chronically ill, they may be on Medicaid. You just don't know where they get their insurance.
exactly. And also with this irresponsible debt they're raising up, the so-called pay-go rules may kick in, meaning Medicare may wind up
That's
on
right.
the chopping
That's right.
block. And to boot, millions of people will be knocked off the exchanges because they'll be taking away those subsidies. So
Yeah.
you may have lots of different kinds of health care. It's going to really hurt people
And
across the
let's
board.
talk about veterans who sometimes get double. They get their VA benefits and then they may have some supplemental care that they need. So sometimes there are veterans who also get Medicaid or get assistance for other things if they're chronically ill or they have other issues. So we have almost 250,000 veterans in Nevada. So this could
Right.
impact our veteran community. It is more widespread than people think. And this is just one bad part of the bill. We could go on and on. I want to tell you, Nevada, you talk about energy. We have more solar jobs per capita than any other state in the nation. And if they pull back some of these programs like they want to, they're stopping our infrastructure, our BEAD money that's going to bring broadband out to our state. Um, we're going to lose thousands of jobs in the
Right.
solar industry. And
Right.
again, people are unemployment if they can get it. There's no jobs. They lose their health insurance. It all begins to spiral.
Wow. You know, Nevada is not so special that it is the only state to be affected. What are your Republican colleagues saying? They have states where have green energy, they have Medicaid and Medicare and SNAP beneficiaries. Do they not care, or are they simply so afraid of Donald Trump they're willing to be screamed at by their constituents who will be hurt by this?
Well, I think you've seen a lot of town halls. The answer is there for the viewing, and I'll let those senators who they've pretty well spoken for themselves and who they care about and who they put first, and they put Donald Trump and the billionaire tax cuts first. And I know you've highlighted some of those senators' quotes, so I'm not even going to give them the dignity of repeating them because they're so awful and heartless. And it's just a betrayal. I can tell you behind the scenes, I've been talking about some of these energy projects,
Yep.
and especially solar, because of
Right.
course in Nevada we have tons of sun, right?
Right.
And so I've been talking to Republican colleagues in other states where we get glass panels, all the pieces and parts that
Right.
make up an industry. I'm saying, you have all these contracts. If you have these many contracts in Nevada, I'm sure they have contracts all around the country. Do you know that this big company, they're going to suffer if you pull this back? So you
Right.
better think about, there are shovels in the ground. There are plans already going. There are people hired, billions of dollars invested and committed. So we've been talking behind the scenes. Will they stand up? Can they stand up? Will they find their backbone? TBD, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
no kidding. And when we speak about betrayal, we also have a sight that I didn't think I was going to see in my lifetime, which is not only National Guard brought to California against the wishes of the governor and the mayor of Los Angeles, but the U.S. Marines. You sit on the Security Department. Is this necessary? Were things violent, out of control, the way Trump paints things before he brought these people in?
Well, you're right. I've been on the Homeland Security for the last 6 years. I sit on Armed Services as well. I can tell you that calling up the National Guard without the cooperation of state and local officials is something we haven't seen in current time. It just isn't done. And calling up the Marines are our elite, well, all of our service members, every man and woman, highly trained to do a specific job to keep us ready to protect us against foreign invasion, not to send to downtown Los Angeles when it's not needed. And again, you know why this is happening. Because I don't know, I'm sure a lot of your viewers out there have kids. Sometimes they want to distract you. They say, well, Dad told me, Mom told me, and then pretty soon you're arguing over here and you don't notice that they've decided to go out and play with their friends or whatever that is. He wants to distract us from this reconciliation bill and the rescission bill that's coming too, which is essentially a line item veto. They want to say money we've already appropriated. We've thought about projects already and like that BEAD broadband money. We don't like it. Delete it, take it back, take it back. We can't let them do that. Donald Trump is using this flamethrower in order to distract so again they can pass this bill in the middle of the night. And let's remember, January 6th, I was here. I was here. People died. He pardoned them all. He didn't bother to send out the National Guard. He didn't bother to pay attention to what happened. They stood there and they said, hang Mike Pence, his vice president. And he did nothing. And then
Exactly.
he pardons him. It's a slap in the face to our Capitol Police.
Absolutely. And, at a time they are cutting all of these programs that we've talked about, the LA deployment so far is estimated to cost about $134 million. And Trump's little parade that he's throwing for himself reminds me of a kid who no one wants to come to the birthday party, so he makes the birthday party for himself. That is going to be tens of millions of dollars. What do Republicans say about that if they're so concerned about waste, fraud, and abuse? Do
You
they
know,
think this is a great use of money?
I wish they'd say something. You catch them in the halls and it's crickets. It's crickets.
Yes,
Right. You're absolutely right about the birthday party. It's not just using the strongman show of force. He wants to do whatever dictators do. Oh, Putin has a big parade. North Korea, China, they have these big parades. He's having a tantrum. I want what the dictators have. Well, newsflash, he's not a dictator. He's not a king. He's president of the United States. We don't do this. We show our strength through foreign aid, through our respect, through our training, and through our deployment. There's ways that we show that this a parade is not how we do it. And number two, the streets are going to be torn up by these tanks. Regular roads are not meant for this military equipment that he has shipped in from across the country. So God forbid something happens somewhere and he's got these big, beautiful tanks he wants going down Pennsylvania Avenue. Where are they coming from where we might need them? Who's not getting trained to be ready to deploy? God forbid we need it because he's had to move all this stuff here. It's shameful. It's shameful.
and I'll end on this. Donald
Yes.
Trump made a statement in the Oval Office the other day where he said, if people come out to protest my parade, we will use heavy force. He's not talking about a riot. He's talking about protest. What is your response, and what would you tell people, particularly people who want to go out and register their concern on
Yeah.
Saturday, which is No King's Day around the country?
Well, I tell people this all the time. I said, maybe we don't have the majority in our some state houses or in the federal government, but the one thing that we own, each and every one of us, is our voice and our heart. And in America, we have a democracy. We do have the right to peacefully assemble and protest. No one can take away your voice if you don't let them. And that's what a bully wants to do. They want you to be afraid and want you to be silent. So whatever way you can speak out, whether it's at your church or your workplace or just being comfort to someone who's worried about losing their job, whatever action you can do, you need to speak up and stand out. And this is what I tell people, because when all this is said and done, we've gone through tough times in America. We'll get through this too, God willing, with our democracy. But when you look back, will you be proud of that you stood up and gave your 100%? Doesn't mean that you have to scream and shout, but it means that you can't be quiet. And it means that you can have discussions with people. You should be able to peacefully protest. And I can tell you that it goes against every bit of our democracy, whether you're Democrat, Republican, independent, agnostic, it doesn't matter. This is something that is really special about America that we can't lose. Our voice, it's our way to speak up. Our voice is our vote. It's so many important things. And I just want to tell people, don't give your voice away. That's your superpower.
Absolutely. And that's a message that contrarians know very well. So peaceful protests, speaking out, supporting our troops, our police officers, but our democracy more than anything else. Thank you so much for joining us, Senator. It's been a pleasure. And we will
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you back. Hopefully, this
Anytime.
big, ugly bill will be dead in its tracks, but we will be covering it all the way. So
I
thanks
hope
so much.
so. It's been a pleasure. I'll hope to see you real soon.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.